Hello there, welcome brothers and sisters, welcome dear friends and seeker, everyone. This is your Pastor Yadi. I welcome you in a new moment of thinking, a new moment that will help you in your emotions, in your spiritual life, and find the source of your loneliness. Whenever you feel lonely, you must try to find the source of this feeling. You are inclined either to run away from your loneliness or to dwell in it. When you run away from it, your loneliness does not really diminish. You simply force it out of your mind temporarily. When you start dwelling in it, your feelings only become stronger and you slip into depression. The spiritual task is not to escape your loneliness, not to let yourself drown in it, but to find its source. This is not so easy to do, but when you can somehow identify the place from which these feelings emerge, they will lose some of their power over you. This identification is not an intellectual task. It is a task of the heart. With your heart, you must search for that place without fear. This is an important search because it leads you to discern something good about yourself. The pain of your loneliness may be rooted in your deepest vocation. You might find that your loneliness is linked to your call to live completely for God. Thus, your loneliness may be revealed to you as the other side of your unique gift. Once you can experience in your innermost being the truth of this, you may find your loneliness not only tolerable, but even fruitful. What seemed primarily painful may then become a feeling that, though painful, opens for you the way to an even deeper knowledge of God's love. To live a spiritual life, we must first find the courage to enter into the desert of your loneliness and to change it by gentle and persistent efforts into a garden of solitude. And this requires not only courage, but also a strong faith. As hard as it is to believe that the dry, desolated desert can yield endless varieties of flowers, it is equally hard to imagine that our loneliness is hidden, unknown beauty. The movement from loneliness to solitude, however, is the beginning of any spiritual life because it is a movement from the restless senses to the restful spirit, from the outward-reaching cravings to the inward-reaching search, from the fearful clinging to the fearless play. The Christian way of life does not take away our loneliness. It protects and cherishes it as a precious gift. And sometimes it seems as we do everything possible to avoid the painful confrontation with our basic human loneliness, and allow ourselves to be trapped by false gods promising immediate satisfaction and quick relief. But perhaps the painful awareness of the loneliness is an invitation to transcend our limitations and look beyond the boundaries of our existence. The awareness of loneliness might be a gift we must protect and guard, because our loneliness reveals to us an inner emptiness that can be destructive when misunderstood, but filled with promise for those who can tolerate its sweet pain. By slowly converting our loneliness into a deep solitude, we create that precious peace where we can discover the voice telling us about our inner necessity, that is, our vocation. Unless our questions, problems, and concerns are tested and matured in solitude, it is not realistic to expect answers that are really our own. This is a very difficult task because in our world we are constantly pulled away from our innermost self and encouraged to look for answers instead of listening to the questions. A lonely person has no inner time or inner rest to wait and listen. He wants answers and wants them here and now. But in solitude, we can pay attention to the inner self. This has nothing to do with egocentrism or unhealthy introspections, because in the words of Rilke, what is going on in your innermost being is worthy of your whole love. In solitude, we can become present to ourselves. There we also can become present to others by reaching out to them, not greedy for attention and affection, but offering our own selves to help build a community of love. Solitude does not pull us away from our fellow human beings, but instead makes real fellowship possible. I encourage you, because everyone in his life would have probably the feeling to be lonely. Being by yourself is not loneliness, but feeling loneliness is an experience where you're not happy, where you feel that something is going on in your inner being that it's difficult for you and can bring you down. I give you some encouraging words to work with. May Jesus Christ be the person who brings you out that deeper loneliness to find your way of your vocation, to be creative. If God is calling you out to something bigger that you don't quite understand. And loneliness doesn't mean if you feel that there is something that you're called to. Even if it is in solitude. I don't believe that God is really calling in us to disappear from everybody. Because like I mentioned, even in the desert are beautiful flowers. It's a life that everyone experiences: loneliness, depression. Don't hide it. Don't ignore it. But bring it up and work with it. Remember, you are the beloved. And God wants to bring you out. May God bless you. This is your Pastor Yeti. Bye-bye.